What's up, guys? My name's Dylan, or by my Instagram 6dank, which a lot of people may or may not know me by, but everyone calls me that, so we can stick with that. I have a E46 M3 here, a lovely car made by BMW.
Why don't we talk about why you chose the E46 M3 and then also a little bit about your purchase story with it?
So I chose this car really because it was my dream car. I've always been around cars my whole life, through my childhood, my parents, and just playing video games. As some of you may know this car strictly just from the Need for Speed Most Wanted game, the original one. That is really the reason why I chose this car. That was my childhood game. I love that car and that game, and I've always wanted to own one, and it wasn't a regretful decision at all. I bought it, I want to say two and a half years ago, in the city of Redlands, California. Price wise, I believe the car was listed at 16 to 18 grand if I remember correctly. Like I said, it was 2 years ago, two-ish, longer maybe. I ended up paying 12 grand for it. It's a clean title, no accidents. When I bought it, it had 160,000 miles. Right now we are sitting at 197,800-ish miles. So pretty high mileage car. I got it cheap. I want to say I got lucky. I negotiated it, and it was a SMG, and I did the whole swap. Now it's a 6-speed manual, as well as it's kind of a boring spec, but I truly love silver colors on BMWs. I think they look great compared to really about most cars on the road. I guess that's why it was cheap. It's just titanium silver on black. Not a crazy spec, but I love it.
Here comes the fun part. Let's do the mod breakdown and the walk around of the E46 M3.
These are some depot side markers. They're extremely bright at night, as well as depot headlights. Shout out Unique Style Racing is where I got them from. They sponsored this car with headlights, side markers, these corner lights that are LEDs. I think my tails as well. Yeah, my tails as well. Nice. So yeah, shout out them. Anyways, back to over here. Other mods we got. We have NTO3s all around. It is a staggered setup for the tires, at least. I believe the wheel specs are squared all around the tires. 275 in the rear, 255 up front. Engine mods, the only thing I have is a Dynan intake, which does basically nothing. It's carb legal, doesn't make any cool noises. It came with the car when I bought it, so it's still there. I have 2 Recaro pole positions, and a dogfight steering wheel. Dogfight and these NTO3s are both JDM brands, and the reason I have it like that and not strictly European is because I love both. I came from JDM cars. My first car was a FG2 Civic Si. Then from there I went to another FG2, and from there I went to an S2000, and around the same time I got a Mazda Speed Miata, which is the only turboed Miatas from factory. And then I got into Europeans, and I don't regret it. I wouldn't go back, but I do love JDM and all its aspects, and they have great things, and I wanted to combine the two. Stock headers, for the BMW guys, they call all their exhausts like Section 1, Section 2, Section 3. I personally think it's stupid, but for Section 1, being after the headers, it's stock. It's just 2 dual pipe resonators. And then for Section 2, which is the mid pipe, it's just a Super Sprint mid pipe. And then Section 3 muffler, it is a agency power muffler. Yeah, I almost forgot. Suspension, we have Öhlins road and track coilovers. I have ground control top hats as well. I have a strut bar, but I forgot from what brand. Honestly, I think it's the stock one. M3s come with a factory strut bar. I have aluminum and poly diff bushings all around. I have an H&R front sway bar, stock sway bar in the rear. It's H&R or Turner Motorsport. I don't remember. Poly control arm bushings. I want to say that's it for suspension. I guess more engine mods. I have a CSF oil cooler, CSF radiator. I did an E-fan conversion. Trying to think what else. I believe that's it. And one last interior mod. We have the P3 vent gauge, which is amazing. And well, the fact that I did a SMG to manual swap, I guess you could call that a mod. The rear section, we got a carbon fiber CSL style trunk from Sabon. Fitment is not bad, like looking at it here, but installing it was a bitch. Had to shave this down here on both sides. It was annoying. I also have to shave this down, which I've been too lazy to do, to put the license plate lights here, which is just sitting there. So yeah, I've been too lazy to do that. Also, when you buy this, just so you guys know, you have to drill in your own emblem holes. And I haven't drilled mine big enough to fit the grommets and put the badge. But yeah, just keep that in mind when you're buying a Sabon one. I can't speak for the others, but enough about that. We also have a CSL style diffuser, which looks pretty. And then we have a personalized license plate, my Instagram. And we have a beautiful Hello Kitty plate all around. And a nice little plushie in the front to match as well, the Hello Kitty plate. Kind of dirty, but oh well. So yeah, here's that dine-in intake that does basically nothing. There's my carb sticker, so I don't get state ref. I wouldn't call this a mod, but I guess an ECS tuning silicone boot for the intake, but whatever. All this stupid wiring that you see is for the E-fan. As dumb as it may look, it's actually useful, and I don't regret it. I could clean it up though, slightly lazy, but it is what it is. I mentioned the strut bar is a mod, but I mean, it comes factory, it's an M1, so I don't know if it's a mod or not. Yeah, that's about it under the hood.
I wanted you to kind of talk about your pros and cons of the E46 M3, and then just a quick little bit of advice for future owners of this car.
So pros, I would say you get a beautiful inline six from BMW that revs up to 8K. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. This car is insanely comfortable. I have bucket seats in it, but when I had my stock seats, I've taken this car to San Diego and back, no issue. I enjoyed myself every minute of driving it. It handles extremely well. You could throw this thing around like any corner and it'll take it. It feels like a little go-kart despite its size. It's honestly a bigger vehicle compared to like a Miata S2000 or even some Civics, you know, but it gets down. It being an inline six, it does only push 333 horsepower to the crank. Nowadays that doesn't sound a lot, but really this thing with only that little bit of power, it keeps up well. I've gone on cruises and everything with friends that have GT350s, RS3s, a bunch of other cars, and you know, I could keep up. This thing has a lot of top end. According to the forums, without the governor, it tops out at 174, I believe. So it just keeps going. You take it up to 120, you think, oh, maybe I only got 10, 20 more miles per hour. No, it'll keep going. And as you drive it, you could really feel it that it wants to keep going. That's really about it. This is genuinely a really good car. You can't go wrong with it. It just has a few cons that might scare people away, but in my opinion, they're not really cons. The only cons I would say are the big three everyone is scared of with these cars, being the rod bearings, the Vanos system, and the subframe. Honestly, with how old these cars are, the subframe has been done by most people. If not, then it's something any shop could really do. It's not the end of the world. Rod bearings, if you have proof of them being done, previous owner did it, then you have nothing to worry about. I did my rod bearings like 50,000 miles ago. This isn't my daily, I only drive this car to beat on it and take it to meets and canyon drives and everything, and I've had no issues. And then the Vanos system, I mean, the Vanos doesn't break every 10,000 miles. So I wouldn't really see it as a con. It's just, you got to pay to play with these cars. BMWs, they're luxury, over-engineered car that have expensive maintenance. But, you know, I personally think it's all worth it in the end. This car genuinely puts a smile on my face every time I drive it. Only actual con I could think of, it's the gas mileage. For a 3.2 liter inline six, it is dog shit. I get the same gas mileage as a damn Mustang 5.0, like a new one too. It's actually absurd. I'm pretty sure the best miles per gallon I've gotten on this thing on the freeway was like 21. In the streets, I get like 16, 15, and that's really the same of a V8, which is stupid. But, I mean, it's worth it. It's miles per gallon, not miles per gallon. It's okay. Future advice, I would make sure the big three is taken care of, unless you want a project car. If you only want to spend 10 grand on one of these things, you're gonna get kind of a shitbox. It might be clean-ish, but maintenance might not all be there. So if you really want a pristine one and don't want to worry about anything, find one that already has all the big three done, or when you buy it, you get the big three done yourself, so you don't have to worry about anything. Other thing is maintenance. Just do your maintenance on time. This goes for any and every BMW and really any European vehicle. These things are sensitive. If something little goes wrong and you just let it sit and sit, eventually it's going to turn into something bigger and way more expensive. Just keep up with the maintenance, take care of it, and it'll take care of you. This is my walking proof of that at 197-ish thousand miles. And all I do is beat on this car, but I take care of it, do all my maintenance. And I would do oil changes frequent on these just because of the rod bearings. I mean, it's better safe to do it that way at like 3 to 4K miles every time an oil change. Spend $100 on oil instead of spending 5-6 grand on another motor when your rod bearings go. These don't really have any other issues that I would say, but I 100% recommend buying one of these to anyone who's in the market for one. They're great cars. They're getting kind of pricey. I would hop on them now more than ever, because eventually these are going to become a quote-unquote classic car that people are going to look back then. I mean, people already do now. They look back at it now and are like, damn, I remember when prices were like 15, 20 grand for a low mileage individual color one, and now you're paying 50 for a low mileage individual color one. So I'd really hop on it. There's not a lot of cons. Manual transmission works great. It handles nicely even stock. It has beautiful stock wheel options. You can't go wrong with it.
So I've filmed at least 2 E46 M3s, maybe 3, but this would either be the 3rd or 4th one. And I will say I never get tired of looking at them because they are one of the best looking BMWs in that era for sure. He also has the NCO3s, which I used to have on the E90. Kind of miss those wheels. But yeah, and this one has Recaros, which is a really nice touch because it matches the whole interior. It kind of brings it all together. And I do like that it's the silver on silver type of theme. And I always thought this to myself, but maybe I haven't said it out loud. But the only other M cars I would add, in addition to the E90 M3, would probably be an E46 M3 and an E60 M5. The other M's are either too expensive or they're just not my style. So I would say if I were to pick up some new M cars, it would be the M3, the E46, and then the E60 M5. So yeah, it's nice seeing one again, and we're about to get some exhaust clips and some ride-alongs. Alright, so I'm back in another E46 M3. Wow, this seat's pretty, like holds you in.
Yeah.
It's clean. You got his little, what is that called? What is?
This is Kuromi.
Okay.
From Sanrio, which also is the rest of the Hello Kitty characters. Here's another one right here.
Damn, this dude got it all in here.
Yep.
Passenger princesses are gonna be in heaven seeing these things.
They love it.
Got a little burbles and stuff.
Yeah.
And downshift.
I just gotta tap the throttle and it'll do it. Downshifts. Let it burble a little.
Downshift into first. Alright, yep.
There it is.
197 verified.
Yep. I brain farted.
Okay.